Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Anna, and today's class is called Revive. So, I actually looked up the definition of the word revive, and it means to give new strength or energy to. And I love the use of the word give here because it really is something that we are able to give to ourselves this new strength, this new energy, this new vitality in the way that we move, in the way that we think, our mindset. And what a gift, right? That we get this opportunity to practice that every time we step on our mat. So, we are going to go ahead and get started. We will be using a block today. So, go ahead and grab that if you have it handy, and we'll get started off on our backs. So, starting off, we're going to take the block this long flat way here and place it behind your head. And so with that block behind your head, you want to feel that the back of the neck is long, that we're not jutting the chin up here. If you still feel like you're jutting your chin, you could always flip that block to the next highest setting. Now take your hands onto your front ribs. And with your hands there, just notice if those front ribs have a tendency to kind of thrust up toward the ceiling. And we just want to gently coax them down here so we feel the back ribs resting on the floor. Now start to make your breath a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller. And feel that you can almost expand your breath into the back of your rib cage and the sides of your rib cage. Now bring your awareness down a little bit lower into your sacrum, this large triangular bone right at the base of your spine on the back of your pelvis. And feel that it is heavy on the floor. And so we're not overly tilting the pelvis forward or tilting it back, but we've just got that sacrum resting easily on the floor here. And feeling it level side to side. Now take an inhale breath, fill up those ribs. And as you exhale, draw those front ribs down so you feel those back ribs heavy on the floor. And imagine almost like a little string connecting your lower front ribs and your pubic bone on the front of your pelvis towards one another. So we're not rounding the spine, but we're just feeling this kind of connection here. And then let's do that again. Inhale. You can release that. Exhale, hold the front ribs down, feel the back ribs heavy, and think imaginary string drawing pubic bone and lower front ribs together. So now we're going to keep this feeling, but we're going to add some movement in the legs on. So inhale. Exhale, back ribs heavy, front ribs hold down. Now stretch your right leg out in front of you and the heel stays on the floor here. Now notice that as you do that, the pelvis isn't changing. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, draw down, stretch the left heel out in front of you, just as far as you can go before you start moving in your pelvis. Inhale back. Let's do two more like that. Exhale. Draw it down. Feel that the pelvis stays level, the sacrum stays level. And inhale back up. Exhale, left leg reaches. Keep holding those front ribs down. The hands are just really nice as feedback here. Bring that left heel back in. One more time here. Inhale. And exhale, stretch the right heel out in front of you. Hold those back ribs down to the floor. Bring it back up. Inhale. Exhale. Front ribs down. Left leg reaches. Pelvis stays steady. And bring that left foot back up. Nice. So we are going to take your block here, place it this long way underneath your left foot. And if you still need something behind your head here, you can, if you have another block, you could use that, or a blanket or a pillow. So left foot is on the block, right foot is down on the floor. We're gonna set up for a little asymmetrical bridge here. So hold those front ribs down again. So feel the back ribs heavy on the floor. You can have your hands on the ribs if you like. Now start to activate your glutes as you push down into the feet to lift up, just for a low bridge here. So if you feel anything in that right knee, you can always scoot your upper body away from the block a little bit there. But we really want to work on using the glutes here, not in the back. So lengthening the tailbone toward the heels, hold those front ribs down. Let's do a little pulse here. So right away, just sparking some activity in the glutes. Right, they are so valuable for giving us a lot of support, a lot of stability. Now we're gonna hold it up here. Push down more into that left foot, especially that left big toe mound. Squeeze that left glute even more and bring your right knee up over your hip. So we're in a one-legged bridge here, and let's pulse here. You could even take your left hand onto the front of your left kind of pelvic point here, front of the left hip, and just resist down slightly to just give that left glute a little bit more incentive. Couple more. Now hold it up, stretch your right leg straight up here, can flex your foot, and then reach your arms up like you're holding a tray. Stretch out your left wrist by pulling those left fingers back. Whew, left glute is talking. Feels amazing. One more big full breath here. Breathe into your back. And then we'll step the right foot back down, nice and slow, lower all the way back down. And then we'll just move the block over to the right side. Right foot comes on top of it. Hold those front ribs down, activate your glutes, and lift into a low bridge. So we'll just start off here, pulsing. That left foot is down on the floor. And then hold it here. Push down more into your right foot, so especially that right big toe mound. Squeeze that right glute more, and then bring the left knee up over the hip. And then we'll pulse here. So again, you can always have that right hand on this front of the right hip, just slightly resisting down. It's like, come on glute, time to wake up. We got some reviving to do. Keep going there. This right glute is always the one for me that's like a little extra snoozy. We just have to give her a little more feedback. Now we'll hold it up. Left leg reaches. Maybe spread the toes, flex the foot, reach the arms up like you're holding a tray. Then we'll stretch out the right wrist by pulling those fingers back. And keep that breath going. One more big full breath into your back. And we'll set that left foot down. Whew, nice and easy. Lower down one vertebra at a time. All right, so let's grab a hold of the block again here and place it in between your knees this thinnest way. Feet are on the floor. Bring your hands behind your head. Cup your skull and pull your elbows in towards each other. We'll take an inhale breath. Exhale, lift up off your shoulder blades by pulling the front ribs down. And then again, you can feel that little string between the lower front ribs and the pubic bone. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, lift up. Left leg reaches straight out from the knee joint. Now we're going to turn an inch to the left. Take your right hand, cup it around the left side of your ribs, pull those ribs in toward midline, and see if you can get up a little bit higher. Nice. Hand behind your head, foot down, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Stretch your right leg straight out from the knee joint. Turn an inch to the right. Left hand cups the right side of your ribs. Hold them in more. See if you can get up a little bit higher off that right shoulder blade. Hand behind your head, right foot down, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Left leg stretches straight out. Turn an inch to the left. Right hand cups the left ribs, pull them in, get up a little bit higher. And then right hand behind your head, left foot down, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Right leg reaches, turn an inch to the right. Left hand holds the right side of the ribs in. Can you come up a little bit higher? Foot down, left hand behind your head. Inhale to lower. Adding on a little bit here. Exhale, lift up. Left leg reaches. Turn an inch to the left. Right hand holds the left ribs. Come up a little bit higher. And then maybe you lift just the right heel up off the floor. Good. Heel down, hand behind your head. Foot down, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Turn an inch to the right. Right leg reaches. Left hand holds the right side of the ribs. Pull them in. Maybe lift that left heel up off the floor. Connect deeper into your center. Heel down, foot down, hand behind your head. Inhale to lower, last time here. Exhale, lift up. Left leg reaches. Turn an inch to the left. Right hand holds the ribs. Can lift the right heel. Stay there or reach that right arm outside your left leg and reach more through the fingertips. Hand to your head, heel down, foot down. Inhale, lower. Whew, last time. Exhale, lift. Right leg reaches. Turn an inch to the right. Left hand holds the right side of the ribs. Left heel can lift. Stay there or reach that left arm outside of the right leg. Reach from those fingertips. Hand behind the head. Feet come down. Inhale to lower. Whew. All right. Let's come around into a quadruped or tabletop. All right. Reviving can be a little bit of work sometimes. How amazing is that? Okay. So we're gonna have the shoulders right on top of the wrists, and the hips right over the knees. Now bring your right forearm down parallel to the front of the mat. The left hand will line up with the right kind of hand knuckles. Now hold those front ribs in. It should feel a little bit easier now after all that core work we just did. We're gonna reach the left leg back and feel here that we're keeping that sacrum level and not tipping the right side of the pelvis forward. And then we'll bring that left knee back in and reach it back out. And bring it in, keep pushing down through the hand and the forearm, reach it back, bring it in, and back. Let's do 2 more. Now hold it back in extension. Now without turning the entire pelvis, just roll that left thigh out slightly. So that's external rotation, and we're doing it from the hip without the whole pelvis turning here. Nice. And then we'll bring that left knee back down to the floor. Now push down into your left hand. Inhale, sweep that right arm up. And then exhale, we'll thread it under here. And you can lightly land the right side of the head if that feels comfortable for you. And just take a couple deep breaths all the way up into that right side. Push down into your left hand, and we'll come back up into your quadruped. So this time, left forearm lowers parallel to the front of the mat. Right hand lines up with the left fist. So we're holding the front ribs in. Right leg reaches back, an extension. Bring it in. Reach it back. Keep pushing down through everything that's on the floor. Good. We're not tipping that left side of the pelvis forward. Keeping that sacrum level. You got it. 2 more. Now hold this last one up. Imagine you were balancing like a little water glass on your sacrum here. We're going to keep that balanced as you just slightly rotate that right thigh out to the right in external rotation. And then we'll bring that right knee back down, push down into the right hand. Inhale, stretch that left arm up. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right and lightly land, if it feels okay, the left side of your head on the floor. But we've got hardly any weight at all in the head, because we're lifting up through the hips, the belly, the ribs. And breathe into that left side. Right, push down into your right hand. Now lower both your forearms down, coming into dolphin. So forearms could be parallel, or you can interlace your fingers here. Tuck your toes, lift your front body up, so it almost feels like a little cat action. And then we'll lift the knees, pike the hips up. So your knees can be as bent as they need to be here, but release your head, hold your front body up into your back body. And we'll just start to rock on the toes here. All right, so not only are we getting some good strength here, especially into the entire shoulder girdle, right, but we're getting this huge fascial opening in the whole back line of the body, all the way from your heels up to the crown of your head. So breathe into that back. One more breath here. And then we'll lower our knees and come all the way up to stand at the front of the mat here. Just have your blocks handy. All right. So coming to stand at the front, and take a moment just to let your arms rest alongside your body. Feel the length of your spine. And already maybe just feeling like we're bringing in a little bit of that new strength, that new energy, that new spark. Let's take an inhale and bring your arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Bring your hands down either to blocks or the floor. Step your right foot back, lower your knee. Now we're going to take this left leg out to the left, so it is the foot is facing the long edge of your mat. Now bring your right hand behind your skull, left hand to the front ribs. So we're lengthening this right glute down, holding these front ribs in. So a little string between pubic bone and lower front ribs, drawing together. Now take an inhale. Exhale, reach up and over toward the left. And think more about reaching up with that right elbow and less about bending over to the side. Inhale, come back to where you started. Exhale, reach up and over. So lift up through that right elbow, holding the front ribs in. Inhale. Exhale, reach up to go over. Last time here, inhale. Exhale, reach up to go over. Now here's a fun little move here. You can grab a hold of one of your blocks. We're going to internally rotate this left hip. The left hand can be on the block. So we internally rotate the left hip so it's facing the long edge of the mat, and then step your right foot forward. That's it. So left hand can be on that block. Take your right arm and reach it straight up. So wrap that left glute down, feel it working. Push down into your left hand as you reach up through the right fingers. And take a big breath into that whole right side waist. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing going the opposite way. So we internally rotate the right hip. Right hand comes to the block. Left toes face the long edge of the mat here. Same thing. Right hand down on the block. Left arm reaches up. And then reach up to go over. Okay. So push down through that right hand, reach up through the left arm. Right glute is working. Nice. Now taking this into a pyramid, I'm going to go ahead and use my blocks here. You could also be on fingertips, framing your left foot, lift your back knee. So we're actually going to be up on the back toes for this one, but we're lengthening in the spine. And then you can start to rock forward and back on your right toes. And then hold it here and do a little shimmy side to side in the ribs, almost as if you could like toss your ribs side to side, just back and forth between your hands. Just notice if there's any stickiness, any restriction there. All right, now from here we're going to come down like a seated twist. So I'll show you first, and then we'll do it. You can always keep your right hand on the block here, but the right leg will come behind the left, and we lower down for a side sit. So let's do it together. Hands can be on the blocks or on the floor. Right leg comes behind. Lower that right hip. Left knee will stack on top of it. So let's bring your right forearm down parallel to the front of the mat. Knees are stacked. Now push down into that forearm. Feel this right shoulder blade secure on your back ribs. And the ribs are staying in, so we have all this fullness in the back. Take your left arm, you can have a sharpness in that arm here, and we'll sweep that overhead and then back and a little bit behind. So reach it up and over and back. Keep going here. Keep pushing down into that right forearm and lifting those lower ribs up away from the floor. Beautiful. Now, the next time your left arm comes back over your hip, you can just have your hand on that left side of the pelvis, and we're going to move into a side bridge. So push down through that forearm and the lower legs to lift your hips up and lower. lift up, and lower. Like a little rhythm here you can get into. Last one. Nice. And now we'll lower. Can bring your left fingers down to the floor to pop up onto your hands. Turn to face the back of the mat, feet are on the floor, and we're coming into a table. So you can have your fingers facing your hips or slightly turned out here. But now draw your shoulder heads back. Feel your shoulder blades on your back here, ready to hold your chest, and can lift the hips and lower. Lift the hips. If this feels like too much, lower. You could always just keep the hips down and really work that action of drawing the shoulders back a little bit, holding the ribs in. If you're lifting and lowering, we've got 2 more. Everyone lower down. We're going to turn to the left side of the mat all the way around to the front for a 3-legged downward facing dog with the left leg up. Now you can always have your hands on blocks here. If you like, I'll show that option. The left leg is up. We're going to bend this left knee and start to circle in the hip. I don't know about you, but I know my hips always need a little bit of reviving. It's kind of a daily practice for me. And then we'll switch directions. Keep lifting the forearms and the armpits up away from the floor. Now stretch that left leg straight out. Push into your hands. Now step your left foot up. We're going to load this left leg. Stand tall, right knee comes up, just to about hip height. So push down into that left foot. This left glute is working a lot. Now you can bring your left hand to your front ribs, your right hand behind your head. And then just feel there that you can hold that front body in and that you can lift the back of your neck even higher. See if you can grow a little bit taller. 1 more breath in. And exhale, step your right foot down next to your left. All right, we got 1 more side here. Inhale, bring your arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge back in your hips. Plant your hands, blocks or floor. Left foot will step back. Lower the knee and we're coming up into a lunge, but then step your right foot out to the right so it's facing that long edge of the mat. Left glute is wrapping down, front ribs are held in. Right hand to the front ribs, left hand behind your skull. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, reach up through that left elbow as you do a little side bend here, but think more up than over. Inhale back to where you started, or inhale, and then exhale, reach up and over. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, reach up and over, keeping that fullness in your back as you side bend here. Inhale. Last time. Exhale, lift up. Now we'll come back up here. Grab a hold of your block. So here's our move. We're going to internally rotate this right hip. So we're facing the opposite edge of the mat. Step your left foot forward. Right hand can be down on your block here. Left arm reaches up. And then reach up and over with those left fingertips as you push down through that right hand, squeezing that right glute. And now same thing, second side. Internally rotate the left hip. Step the right toes forward, so we're facing the opposite side now. Left hand is down on the block, right arm can reach up. Push down through that left hand to reach up through the right arm, wrapping that left glute down. Now coming into our pyramid, you can grab both blocks if you're using them, or fingertips could also be on the floor here. Framing your front foot, lift the back knee, and we're gonna stay on your back toes. So that we can rock forward and back. Keeping the length in your spine, chest is open. And then hold it here. And once again, we can just do this little shimmy in the ribs. And you can have this feeling as if you were just tossing your rib cage side to side in the hands. All right, so coming back down into that little seated twist transition into a side sit. I'm going to take my left hand on the block over a little bit further. Left leg comes behind the right. We lower down onto the left hip and right knee stacks on top of it. So left forearm will lower down to the floor parallel to the front of the mat. Push down into that left forearm to feel this left shoulder blade kind of lock into place on your back. Right arm can reach out. We've got a sharpness in that arm. And then we'll sweep it up and over the ear and a little bit back. Up and over. Keep pushing down into everything that's down on the floor. Feel a lift up in that left side of the rib cage, the left side of the waist. One more. Now hold that right arm back. You can have the right hand on the right side of the pelvis if you like. Push down into the forearm and the lower legs to lift the hips and lower. So trying to smooth that out as best you can. Nice. We're just working these outer hip muscles. Provide us with a lot of stability. And sometimes they tend to be a little bit neglected. But we're not going to neglect them here. So then we'll lower this back down, turn to face the back of the mat for our table. So hands come down, fingers point forward or forward toward your hips or slightly out to the sides. Draw your shoulder heads back, hold the front ribs in. Either stay there or lift the hips, lower, lift, and lower. Strong in the arms, open in the chest. Your scapula, your shoulder blades on your back, they're there to support you. One more. We'll lower that all the way down. Turn to the right, all the way around to the front, three-legged downward facing dog with the right leg reaching. Hands can be on blocks again here if you like. Bend your knee, and let's start to circle in the hip. So again, just trying to isolate this movement within the joint, which might mean that you make it a little bit smaller than you want to. And switch directions. Keep holding the forearms up away from the floor. Lifting that front body up. Now, stretch that right leg straight back. Push into the hands and step that right foot forward. Load the right leg, come to stand. Left knee lifts just to about hip height. Check in with this right glute. We want it really active here as you push down into that right foot. Now we'll take the right hand behind your head, left hand to the front ribs. Hold that front body into the back body as you grow your spine even longer. One more big full breath in. And then we'll step your left foot down next to your right, and let's come all the way down to our backs. Since you're down on your back here, let's cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And then feel here your sacrum level on the floor, heavy on the floor rather. And you can either stay right here or without using your hands, maybe see if you can bring that right thigh a little bit closer in towards you, so coming up off that foot. without overly rounding the spine and tilting in your pelvis. And then can do a little turn in your pelvis. It's like a little steering wheel move. It's really slight. And if that foot is up, you can set that right foot down, uncross, and let's switch sides. So right ankle over your left thigh. You can stay here just feeling the rib cage heavy on the floor, the sacrum heavy. And stay there, or you can try without using your hands, bringing your left foot up off the floor. And feel that we're not really changing the ribs here. And we're still aiming to keep that sacrum down. You could stay there or just do a gentle steering wheel of the pelvis side to side. And then if that foot is up, just go ahead and return it to the floor and the right foot to the floor. Now we'll set up for our Shavasana. So please take your time to find a comfortable position, whether that is with the feet on the floor or the legs outstretched. You could have something behind your knees for support, like your blocks or a pillow, something behind your head. And then once you're there, just take a big full breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And just feel yourself getting a little heavier as you sink down into the support of the floor. So reviving isn't always about work and about effort, but it's also about giving yourself this gift of rest and of ease. And so letting yourself sink into that without guilt. And let your next breath be a little bit deeper. And your exhale a little slower. And one more time there, breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, roll over to your favorite side. We'll all meet up in a comfortable seat in your own time. How amazing is it that we have this gift of being able to revive ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and by continuing to show up and work on our movement and our awareness. And as we revive that movement, we're not just working on the physical body, but we are reviving the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we speak to ourselves, which doesn't just end there. Right, that affects our relationships and the way that we show up in the world. I am honored to do this work with you and to continue to do this work with you. And thank you for showing up today. And if your eyes were closed, you can gently blink them open. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. I feel so lucky that we get to do this together. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.